Today we'll be talking about one of my favorite actors of all time and my most favorite Telugu actor, icon star Allu Arjun, and his top 10 movies. At number 10, I have Pushpa 2, The Rule. Yeah, you might be wondering how his career's biggest blockbuster is at the last position. That's how great and iconic his filmography is. Even though I had a lot of issues with the pacing and conflict in the second half of Pushpa 2, one thing which I always admired about Allu Arjun is his capability to keep the audience engrossed for 3.5 hours. That is a massive achievement. And the kind of cultural phenomenon it became, his dialogue delivery, he made us sit throughout 3.5 hours without feeling bored. At number 9, I have Sarrainodu. Boyapati Shinu is the kind of director who has his own set of audience. But today's Gen Z and millennials, the present generation of cinephiles, they actually show a lot of remorse in watching his movies. But Sarrainodu is a different case. It had the Allu Arjun mark in a Boyapati film. His styling, his dressing, and most importantly, his mannerisms were top-notch. His chest, I tell you, his chest goals, his bicep, tricep, shoulder, everything. And he dances like magic in the film. Especially that scene outside the court with Shrikant. Dhanush. That scene, it shows you how Allu Arjun can walk into a Boyapati film and own it so badly that people forget the director's Boyapati and start calling it as an Allu Arjun film. Ala Vaikuntapuramlo is a very special film for all Allu Arjun fans because it brought him back to the hit track. In this film, the story is very wafer thin, but the way Allu Arjun carries it for the entire 3-hour period with so much of charisma, it's just a textbook of acting. I like the way how he simps for his female interest. At the same time, he shows how lower middle class guy suffers through toxic parenting and also has a lot of entertainment, especially dance, which is his trump card. And that one dialogue where he says, "Na jeevitamlo aha అనుకునే రోజు ఒక్కటి లేదు మేడం." You see, the actor Allu Arjun, the entertainer Allu Arjun, they come together and give us a wholesome entertainment, and the box office numbers, the kind of vibe this film created, that's why this is at number 8 in my list of top 10 Allu Arjun films. The cat and mouse game in Julayi is what that makes it such a repeat value movie. I can watch it without skipping even a single scene. Allu Arjun in this film shares extraordinary chemistry, not with Ilyana, but with all the other side characters like Brahmaji, M.S. Narayana Garu, Rajendra Prasad Garu, and of course the legendary Brahmanandam Garu. He brings in the comedy timing when required, the revenge angle, and most importantly, the boy next door. A lot of meme templates in today's Telugu pop culture social media is from this film, and my favorite being Donigadu Nadapoyada. So hence, this film is 7th in my list of top 10 Allu Arjun films. One of the most beautifully written films, Arya 2, was slightly ahead of its time. That is a kind of film which would have been released in today's day. All the youth of our country would have definitely celebrated it even more than when it was released. The album is seriously the greatest of all time in Telugu industry. If you're in love, if you're a love failure, you can vibe to Poye Poye Ladki Poye. If you're recovering from a breakup, you have Karige Loga Ikshanam. And if you're vibing, or if it's a party mode, you have Ringa 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 Ringa. So it's a very wholesome album, and Allu Arjun shows that aparichitudu kind of an acting in him, where he shows multiple layers. He changes from one mood to another. He has given one of his best performances, Sukumar Garu. At number 5, the path-breaking film Pushpa 1, The Rise. The reason why I am putting this film right in the top 5 is because this movie made sure that even those who criticize Allu Arjun, they walk into the theater and come out as his admirers. And many of my friends, they message me personally saying, "Arey, mee vaadu matram kummesara performance." It was a very proud moment as his fan. He also went on to win the national award, which is quite obvious news to everyone. But the other thing which I liked about him is the audacity he brought into the role of Pushpa Raj, especially the dialogue where he says, "Ee kaal naadi, aa kaal naadi. This type of dialogue, they made sure that Pushpa Raj remains a cult character in today's world. At 4, I have Parugu, which is a film that feels like a warm hug. Today, people are celebrating Allu Arjun, the icon star. But way back in 2008, this film was a very big hit, especially among families. It shows you the other side of Allu Arjun, where he can keep you hooked only through emotions. The music, as usual, was very breezy. And he did a hook step in that Nammave Mokani, even before hook step was a thing. And the other thing I like about Parugu is his entry scene, where he is just seen looking at a mirror with the specs and a cigarette. That's a very beautiful entry scene, and he won his first ever Filmfare Award for this performance. At 3, I have Arya. It was his second film, but trust me, you'll feel like as if it's his 20th film. The performance is so mature. It was a film which made us fall in love with this phenomenon called Allu Arjun. He acted like magic, danced like magic, especially in that song, ante Amalapuram. This song was the reason many non-Telugu folks like me, it made me fall in love with the language. This movie was like that stepping stone to that massive success, that breakthrough for him. It has insane repeat value, and even after 2 decades of its release, even if you start watching it at any point of time, the screenplay, the story, the performances, they all look relevant even today. At number 2, the most critically acclaimed film of Allu Arjun's career, Vedam. So if you want to introduce Telugu cinema to someone, and if they ask you about top 5 films of 21st century, Vedam will be one of those for me. The other 4 I would include Bahubali, Mahanati, Athadu and Rangasthalam. Along with these 4, Vedam will be the top 5 Telugu films of 21st century. We see Allu Arjun playing the role of a very poor guy who is a cable operator. This to me is peak versatility. He can play the son of a rich, wealthy businessman. He can play the upper middle class guy who is looking for a breakthrough in life. He can play that lower middle class guy who is suffering from toxic parenting. Now here he's playing like a poor guy who is thinking of ending his own life every other day. The way he portrays that he's a rich guy to his girlfriend, the variations, especially he'll open the tap of water and he'll tell that he's taking a shower. That to me is one of the peak performances, and that's the reason why he walked away with all the accolades and awards for this film. There's one film which the Allu Arjun army, the new set of fans, they need to hype it more on social media. It deserves all the appreciation that it has received and will receive with each passing day. At number 1, the most iconic mass commercial film of our times, Race Gurram, which is popularly known to the Hindi audience as Lucky the Racer. I still remember my gym trainer. He was playing a lot of Allu Arjun songs. I assumed he's a Telugu guy and I started speaking in Telugu. He said, no, he's a Hindi guy. I asked him, you started liking Allu Arjun from Pushpa? He's like, no, I liked him from Lucky the Racer. That is the kind of cultural impact this particular film holds in Indian cinema. Especially the iconic dialogue. For 1 year, I used to use the same word every now and then. That is the kind of impact the dialogues hold. He also had a lot of iconic dialogues in the past as well, like Vada ma jeevitam, matalev, matladkoda lev, gammunundoy, or the famous Tegedele. So he's always had this one-liners that have become viral. Along with that, he had insane chemistry, whether it was his father-in-law, Prakash Raj, his father, Tanikela Bharani, his brother, Shyam, or the other police officer who comes at the end, Ramanandam Garu. Kill Bill Pandey is a very iconic comedy character even in today's world. So this will be my first best Allu Arjun film of all time, and it's a very difficult task to leave out a lot of other films, but there are a couple of films which I have a very special liking to, and those two, I would say 11th and 12th, Desamuduru and Son of Sathyamurthy. You see, it's a very, very diverse commercial filmography, but still those two movies are very special and have a lot of repeat value. So these are my top 10, top 12 films of Allu Arjun. Somewhere I feel he should be doing more movies at a more rapid pace. We'll have to wait for another couple of years, I think, for his next film with Atlee Garu. So I'm very much excited on how he's going to perform under a Tamil director and another new music director, Sai Abhyankar. So looking forward to a lot more entertainment in the coming years from Allu Arjun Garu.